Good afternoon, Stephen Talbot here. Today is Sunday, August 20th, and I did not do a video. Actually, I did do a video yesterday, but in the middle of the video, my phone said it was out of storage. And I didn't want to piece it together, so I just decided to skip yesterday. I'm currently doing my my daily my daily walk. Probably been 3.5 miles so far. It's a little bit, it's taking me a lot longer than normal actually to do my exercise today, because the Italian Lights Festival is going on at the Bicentennial Mall right beside my house, and so there are crowds of thousands of people everywhere. But it does not get on my nerves. I actually enjoy it. I love all the hustle and bustle. It's one thing that I did not anticipate enjoying. I moved down here for my business, really, to be closer to all of my Airbnb units. And, you know, living downtown was something that I've always had considered. But I lived in my last place for 5 years, and my rent was like $1,000 a month. And a lot changes in 5 years, especially in Nashville, because Nashville's median rental prices are like, I would imagine they're some of the nation's, no, they're not the nation's highest in terms of amount, but in terms of year-over-year growth, I would say that Nashville is one of the top cities. Well, pretty much around the country rents are going up, but in Nashville in particular, you could live downtown not even 5 years ago for 2-bedroom for $1,000, not that many years ago. And now I got a great deal on my place, but now you're looking at probably $2,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment right down in the center of town. I live on the cusp of what's called Germantown and downtown, and I love it. I live right down next to the Sound Stadium. I can hear them singing the Star Spangled Banner. It's pretty cool. And actually, I don't know if I've talked about where I live before, but I will try to walk sideways for a second as I pass by the Bicentennial Mall. So in the background, you can see the city. So anyway, what do I want to talk about today, Stephen? What do you want to beat around the bush about today? First of all, Stephen Talbot here, and it is my pleasure to have you with me here today. So yesterday, well, as I've said on my videos before, I finally did what I needed to do to move forward with my life, and I got an order of protection against my ex-partner. I've been trying to get rid of him, but I've been trying to get him out of my life for at least 2 years now. As I really, honestly, I wish him well, and I forgive him for everything that he's done, and I hope that someday he grows up and he realizes that he's the only person responsible for his life. He's the only person that can be responsible for him. And, to put that burden on someone else, to constantly have to take care of someone else, it's just, it's not right. It's draining to a relationship, and it's just not healthy. The sum total of two people who are together, who love each other, should outweigh what's the phrase? The sum of their parts, or whatever. So basically, if you're with somebody that you love, and you have a partner, you both together should be firing on all cylinders. You should, to use a corny phrase, complete each other's sentences. What I lack in, they should excel in, and vice versa. And you should, my vision for being in a relationship is to be what I would call a power couple, right? I want to be hugely successful, and I want to be massively in love, and by success I mean success in all parts of my life. And I want to be a father. That's the other thing. I want to be a father really bad. I'm 36 years old, and I couldn't see myself having kids with him. Anyway, I do wish him well. Unfortunately, all of the crazy shenanigans are still going on, even after the order of protection, he's not technically been served because he's avoiding being served. He has now called my clients and told them all sorts of stuff. He's threatening to cancel my clients' reservations for their upcoming vacations or business trips or whatever. He has now also, so yesterday I get a text message from my landlord. My landlord says, "Hi Steven, I just want to be clear that Airbnb is not allowed in your house, or in that condo. It's against the HOA rules or whatever." And he said, "I've received complaints about this," which at first, I mean, I'll be honest, it was in the back of my mind that my ex-partner was going to do some shit like this because he's threatened to do all sorts of stuff. But my first thought, just because I like to see the good in people, and I thought, surely he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. I mean, he wouldn't like try to get me thrown out of my house, right? Wrong. He's guilty. So my first thought was, well, if my landlord's received complaints about this, then obviously someone is complaining about the wrong condo, because are there condos in my building used for Airbnbs? Yes, there are. In fact, there's 2 that I know of that are full-time Airbnbs on my level, right down, like maybe four doors down from me, on one of the corner units. They are constant. Well, so several times they have parties. Like, whoever owns that property, which actually I know the dude's name because I looked him up, because I was going to file a complaint myself, because they had like these loudspeakers and they had a full-blown, all-out party on this area called the Rec Deck, which is like, it's got like outdoor furniture and patio tables and grills and stuff like that. The funny part about it is this party went on until like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was outside and nobody was saying anything. The truth of the matter is that I'm a heavy sleeper, number one. Number two, I live right beside a train track, which has a no horn. We have a thing in my neighborhood where the trains are not allowed to blow their horns, but I would much rather blow their horns, because the screeching from the brakes of these trains as they're coming through downtown is just awful. I would much rather hear a loud train horn. But anyway, there's that. Plus I live downtown, which already has enough hustle and bustle. Plus they just opened up a new bar on the first floor of my building directly underneath me. Like a sports bar that gets wild and crazy on the weekends. So, people doing Airbnb doesn't necessarily bother me, especially because I had a bunch of Airbnbs of my own. And I like Airbnb. I don't think Airbnb is going anywhere. I think that Airbnb will continue to be adapted into the lifestyle and the everyday things, or it's going to be everyday business. They're a $25 billion company. I think they're valued at $30 billion now. They're still not even public yet. There's rumors that they're going to launch an IPO sometime in 2017. I hope that they don't. Honestly, I don't care if they do or not. I don't think it's going to make any difference. What difference is it going to make? Whether they have an IPO or they go public or not. They're still going to be Airbnb. I don't really see it making that big of a difference. Anyway, back to my story. So I said to my landlord, they must have me confused with unit number 412, which is right down the hall from me. Because unit 412 is the one for sure that has crazy parties, because I point blank asked some people coming out of there whether they had just moved in, and she was like, "No, we're here with Airbnb." So my landlord said, "Okay, thanks. I will let the HOA know about unit number 412. And I was like, okay. Well, then, 30 minutes later, he said, "I would like to come by to, inspect the place or check out the place," which is fine with me. He has every right to do that. It's his property. I mean, technically and legally, he has to give me a 24-hour notice, but I'm not, I mean, that's not a courtesy. That's actually the law, but I don't, whatever. Name your date and time. I work from home. Unless I'm out of town, I'm home all the time. I mean, not all the time, but you know what I'm saying. I live downtown. I walk everywhere. I don't drive that much anymore. So unless I'm out of town, which I do travel a lot, but actually I travel more than most because I'm in the travel industry. But I don't mind if he comes by anytime. So anyway, I told him that. I said, I'm pretty flexible, so just let me know. And the thing is, I didn't hear back from him. So this morning I get up, So this morning I get up and text him back and say, hey, I never heard back from you. Just let me know of a good time. I'm flexible or whatever. And he writes back and says, you have cat. Shit. Excuse me. He wrote back and said, you have cats. I saw them myself. And I'm like, oh God, it's Rhett. I keep meaning not to say his name, but whatever. It's my ex-partner, because, like, this is just strange. What do you mean I have pets? He has pets, and when I first moved in, I actually moved in to get away from him. He had been hacking into my phone, and he knew exactly where the key was going to be that the realtor left for me, like in the lockbox, and gave me the code. He went and got the damn key and made copies of this key to have access to my house, and he's been an unwelcome guest ever since. What's interesting to me is that he feels entitled, or feels like I'm supposed to take care of him for the rest of his life or whatever. And the last thing in the world he should have done is contact my landlord, because I could have had him out of my house a lot sooner had I contacted my landlord to begin with, because my landlord, it's his property and he can throw him out. I, as a tenant, cannot do that. I cannot go and evict somebody, even though he had no right to be evicted, or no tenant's rights at all, because he's never paid any bills and he wasn't supposed to be there to begin with. But in the eyes of the law, if he went and changed his mailing address, which he did, like he would get like a couple pieces of mail like once a month or something, he used that to claim residency or whatever. I know that was so gross. I feel like I got something all up in my throat, in my chest. Actually, I kind of feel like I have a few symptoms of a cold, to be honest. I think it's probably all the damn stress I've been under. So anyway, back to the story. So, I sent my landlord, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to come clean with my landlord. I've already come clean to him about the shit that my business is going through, which Rhett was also a big part of all of that. I didn't want to fully disclose. I didn't want it to, shit, it's not open. I usually walk through this thing besides the sun setting, but it's closed. So, what was I just saying? Fuck, I forgot what I was just saying. I don't know. Anyway, so, I've already fully disclosed to my landlord all the shit that was going on with my business, and I didn't fully disclose any of this stuff because it's just drama that's unnecessary. I've already added enough stress to him. He's let me pay my rent late several times. He's been extremely flexible with me. Like, really, he didn't have to do any of that, and I appreciate that so much. But I didn't want to tear him all my personal business. The way that I see it, man, it's hard from the other side, because if I would have known somebody or seen somebody in the same situation, I'd be like, what a dumbass, what a dumb bitch. That's what I would think. I would be like, why can't they just get out of this situation? Why are they staying in this abusive relationship? This person that talks, it's hard to see. And in fact, I feel like I've been living in a bubble for the past 5 years, and I feel like it's weird because I knew the stuff was going on, and I'm not an idiot. I also knew that I was being lied to. I knew that he was cheating on me. I knew that he was using me. I knew that I was just basically funding his existence. I knew that stuff. And looking back on it, there's no more clarity in what he did or didn't do. Like, it's pretty cut and dry. It always has been. What's so weird about it is the way that I view it now versus how I viewed it even 6 months ago. It's like, I don't know, he was just able to manipulate me so much that I would just trust and forgive him every single time. Even though I knew that he was lying. I knew it. Like, there was never a question about whether he was lying. There was never a question about all the mutual friends that we have coming forward to me and telling me this and that, the stuff that he was doing behind my back. I believed them. There was never, now that I'm on the other side of this, out of this bubble, they're like, I wish you would, next time are you going to listen to your friends? It's not about listening to your friends next time. That's not what it's about at all. I heard my friends. I heard my friends in the state of mind that I was in at that time. I did not hear myself. I didn't do what I needed to do because I was not ready to take action. So it was never about me not trusting my friends or not believing what they were telling me. I full well knew. Now, from their perspective, they probably thought, this is a dumbass. Like, he obviously doesn't believe me, or why would he still be with this guy? But it's just, I don't know. I guess it's just hard to understand emotional abuse and I mean, there wasn't that much physical abuse at all. There was a couple of black eyes. But the emotional manipulation and the way that I became isolated with my friends and isolated with my family members, and to all of you, I love you and I'm sorry for being that way, but you know, everybody understands, and I'm grateful for that. I mean, I never really did any of my family members wrong. I just wasn't as big of a part of their life for the past 5 years because I had all this. I was just caught up in my own little world, in my own little bubble with this manipulative dude that I really wish the best for. So, anyway, it's been 16 minutes. I'm really honestly not going to do videos that long anymore. Once I get past all this drama, the good news is that I'm not allowing the drama to stop me from moving forward with my life. I'm out here walking right now today. I'm still doing what I need to do. So I can only imagine once all this stuff is past me, it's going to be full fucking steam ahead. And I'm very excited about life. I'm very excited about what the future holds. I'm very excited to add value to the world and to make a difference and to make change in the world. And I'm very excited again to have you along with me for the ride. Really quickly, so I sent my landlord a text explaining all of this and sending him copies of the order of protection. My landlord, see, on my phone, I can I can make a long text in a single text, and I can put spaces and make it like a paragraph, like an essay if I want. But depending on the carrier of the other, who's on the other end, it comes through and it breaks it up into multiple texts and it puts them out of order, which sucks. But anyway, it made me look like a crazy person, I'm sure, because my landlord's like, he called me and he's like, look, I'm just getting flooded with all these text messages. What is going on? So I'm a much, much more eloquent writer than I am at talking on the phone. Especially, it's a little unnerving, talking to your landlord who's potentially like trying to get you thrown out because of all this stuff that your ex-partner is saying. So, plus I honestly didn't want to explain it to him again over the phone because I had just spent all the time putting it together in writing. Excuse me. And whenever I'm speaking to someone verbally, I feel like I don't always express everything that I want to express, and writing just gives me a chance to self-correct, and to get everything, in there. So, anyway, I told him everything going on. I even cried to him on the phone, which, God, anybody who's ever been a landlord before knows that, you can't be soft to your tenants. You have to be human, but at the same time, you have to remember that it's a business and you have to run it like a business. And, you have an investment that you're trying to protect the assets for. So I get all that 100%. I'm a very business-minded person myself, so I 100% get that. And the last thing that he wants, I'm sure, is some man crying to him on the phone. So the whole thing was rather embarrassing, but he seemed to be very understanding about it. And again, I'm grateful for that. I actually gave him a link to my YouTube channel. So if you're watching, thank you. I mean, I appreciate, again, everything that you've done. Wouldn't it be funny if he was watching? He might be. I don't know. If it were me and I was a landlord and my tenant sent me a link, I'd probably watch it. I'd at least watch a few of them. If I wasn't interested, I'd probably not watch after that. After a few. Maybe he'll follow me because maybe he'll become one of my followers. By the way, if you're not following me now, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button below. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel so you can follow me around and always know what's going on with me. And on that note, as always, thank you for watching. I love you, and enjoy yourself.